Next one is the link session management. So basically this will provide ability to identify calls from a same user but from different devices, basically from different IP addresses, okay, but with the same user part. Radio will be able to detect these kind of sessions and group them and treat them as a single session to the radio, okay, and it will also help in handling redundant connections to the radio by deleting the unwanted sessions to the radio. Now we'll demonstrate the link session management feature. Here we are creating two CWPs, main CWP and a standby CWP. Both will be having a same user part but with a different IP address. So you can see here CWP1 but 1.87. Both of them will be establishing a call to the same radio, and we have also set the link session parameters to both of these calls. LSPL is been set to LS deletion enabled and LS execute to keep LS. So same values have been set on the other side also, okay. And at the radio we need to make sure that linked session management is enabled on the radio, okay. Now we'll try to establish these calls. Now I'll establish the first call, that is main CWP. So as you can see here, this is a radio TXRX call, okay, and from the standby we are going to establish an idle call. This is just to make sure that there is an additional connection available to the radio all the time in case if we need to switch from main to standby CWP. Here you can also observe that this is the radio to which the calls have been made, and there is a indication of LS here. This will indicate that these two are linked sessions. To use this standby CWP we need to change the parameters in the profile, okay. The standby CWP, now we have to make it as an upgrade it from idle session to a radio TXRX, okay. This may be required, for example from the main CWP we may not, whatever the voice we are receiving may not be heard properly. So in that case I want to close the session with main CWP and switch over to the standby CWP. So here we need to change the link session execution value also. So I will mark it as a delete LS, so that this parameter will indicate to the radio that terminate all the redundant connections. For example, once we switch from main to standby CWP, the connection with main CWP will become something a redundant connection which should be terminated. This will be done by the radio. Now we have to save this parameter and go back to the call generation window. On this call I am going to send a re-invite, okay. This is the another feature that we have added it here. I'll click on the re-invite. You can see here the invite has been gone with the radio TXRX call type and with these linked session parameters. And you can also observe that the first call, which was a redundant call, has been terminated by the radio, and the reason for termination is linked session clear command. So radio is automatically going to terminate the redundant connections which are not being used. So this is about linked session management.